Welcome everybody to the 40 Finance channel. My name is Jeff Beers. Today I got a little different format. I want to talk to you about my SEP IRA and why I moved it over to Fidelity. This is not a review of Fidelity. This is just an example that shows what my rationale was. This is more about the thinking. It's not a big fat promotion for Fidelity. But I want to talk about why I made this move, what were the factors, show you a little bit about what was transferred and what I ended up doing with it. I think it'll just be sort of a fun exercise for you guys to see. Disclaimer, as always, my stock picks, projections, and SEP IRA moves are simply my opinion as an individual. Please talk to a financial professional before taking on the risks of investing. However, if you enjoy videos like this, stock analysis, personal finance topics, then please subscribe to the 40 Finance channel. Thank you to everybody who's supported the channel so far. Okay, so I'm going to go really quickly through what a SEP IRA is. Again, I'm not a financial advisor, so you'll have to talk to yours regarding what is the best situation for you. However, just for simple example purposes, a SEP IRA, I think Fidelity has a pretty good definition here. Helps self-employed individuals and small business owners get access to tax-deferred benefit when saving for retirement. So I have a small business, a single owner business, and a SEP IRA works really well. I do digital marketing consulting. I have this 40 Finance channel and a couple other things that I work on behind the scenes. But at the end of the day, it's just me. And that's what makes this SEP IRA super attractive from my standpoint because it gives me a lot of flexibility. And normally, if you have an employee with a SEP IRA, you kind of have to match contributions in some way. I don't know all of it because I don't have employees. But if you are an individual, I definitely recommend talking to your financial advisor to see if this is a plan that may work for you. The big advantage to this whole thing, at least from my point of view, is the contribution amount that you can put in. And this is IRS website, and you see right here at the top, 25% of your compensation. Now, I believe compensation is different than profits. Compensation is actually what you pay yourself out of the company. So keep that in mind. Or it can go up to $57,000. So if I compensated myself $40,000 from my business, so after all my expenses, profits, and everything, I paid myself $40,000, then under these guidelines, I would be allowed to contribute $10,000 of that to the SEP IRA. Now, to hit that $57,000 threshold, I guess you'd have to times that by 4, right? So you'd have to be in some neighborhood of $228,000 compensation, not profits, compensation, in order to hit that. 25% is a nice place to be as far as having the opportunity to invest that and avoid, front-end taxes on it. All right, so that's a brief overview of what a SEP IRA is. Again, not for everybody. You can't do it if you're working a 9-to-5. If you're a W-2, you'd have to find a way to have a business. So again, financial advice from a professional is super important here. Now, from my standpoint, I've had a SEP IRA sitting sort of on the sidelines for a while now, 7, 8, 9 years, something like that. It wasn't an account that I contributed to regularly because actually over the past few years, I have been a full-time employee. So my status as a business owner has kind of like ebbed and flowed a little bit. The business has always been here. It's always made money every year in different formats, but I was also a W-2 employee. So a lot of my retirement savings went to things in that program. However, now I'm back to an independent business owner by choice. and it's time to focus a little bit more on the opportunity that the SEP IRA offers. So I started going through my account, and basically I just didn't like what I saw. There was nothing wrong with the account team. It's a small firm, and they have always provided great service. The real problem for me was not the people, and it was not the account execution. It was the lack of choices. There was just so many limits to what I could invest in, when I could buy, sell, all those things that come into play that you guys know me from the 40 Finance channel. Like, I'm into stocks all day long. I love it. I am a retail investor on the after taxes side. So I'm very used to pushing buttons and not necessarily buying and selling every day, but I'm used to making moves. This firm's offering for SEP IRAs really was limited to basically mutual funds and bond holdings. I had a wide percentage of mutual funds. Most of them were from a company called American Funds, which is pretty well known. And American Funds, for as far as mutual funds go, is not a bad choice. They're not Vanguard when it comes to commissions and payments, but for a core offering, it's decent if you don't want to manage your money independently. However, now that I am moving full time, if you will, as an independent business owner, particularly somebody who watches the stock market a lot, I am ready to take on managing my own SEP IRA with, being able to pick which investments I want from it. So bottom line, the reason I transferred my SEP IRA from a small local investment firm to Fidelity basically comes down to choices, right? With Fidelity, I can manage my own SEP IRA, choosing from almost any possible investment platform on the planet. So it can be stocks, it can be bonds, ETFs. And so the wide range of investment options, not to mention the ability to change my holdings at any time, sell, buy, all those things, transfer money out if something were to go wrong. That's really attractive for me. And it's something that I'm looking forward to. All right, so to me, what was the most amazing experience here with Fidelity is that they basically did all of the transfer work for me. So this is a standard URL, Fidelity Customer Service Transfer Assets. This is exactly where I started my journey. I was not an existing Fidelity account holder. But the bottom line, I'm not going to go through the process here. The bottom line is you hit that blue button in the middle. There's a host of questions that come through. You basically need to have a statement from your existing account. Fidelity transfers from almost every imaginable high-level investment account. Even though my Cincinnati local investment firm was small, all of the assets that I had were held with a bigger company. Access Financial, I believe, was the name. I can't remember. Doesn't matter. Get your account statement. You start here to start a transfer, and I made 0 phone calls. I went through, I had my account statement, I typed in my account numbers, and Fidelity did all the work. I take it back on the phone call that I didn't have any phone calls. I made a phone call because I started the transfer, and it was so easy that I called 1-800 whatever it is, and I just said, hey, here's what I did. Can you just double check that everything looks good? And the woman on the other line confirmed and said, we'll take it from here. And sure enough, 5 to 7 days later, I can't remember the exact time frame, but it was very quick. All of my assets were over at Fidelity. Okay, so this might be hard to read on the screen. I'm just going to go over it really quickly. This is a look at all of the things that were transferred over. You see, this is right in the start of the month, actually, for this particular account. I didn't do the holdings and the numeric value here for sort of privacy reasons, but you can see that Fidelity brought everything over on July 6th. You see all of those, everything with the yellow line is an American funds. So all these mutual funds, the red one is a bond, and the bond is one that, just by nature, it's a time-based zero coupon bond. So there's not much I can do with that thing unless I want to take a loss. So that'll just sort of sit around for now. But everything with the yellow line, I've actually already sold. And you see up there on 7/8, as soon as stuff was transferred in my account, I knew I was getting out of these American fund mutual funds because I had different investing objectives. Again, American funds is not a bad company, particularly if you want to sort of set it and forget it and work with a financial advisor who manages your portfolio. I'm not knocking on American funds. I made the change because I'm ready to manage my own portfolio, and I know enough about the stock market that I feel pretty comfortable in the decisions that I can make, certainly for the long term. So on 7/8, all of these sales were confirmed, and I had a monetary balance in my Fidelity account, and I was ready to rock and roll. All right, so that's a quick overview of why I have a SEP IRA and why I moved my SEP IRA, and at least in my experience, how easy it was to move it. And there was no fees on my end. Now, that might be different for other people. As it turns out, with the things that I bought from my local investment firm, they did have front-loaded fees, which is common. I mean, anytime you're going to have somebody manage your money. So I believe they had a 1% purchase fee on the front end, while basically saying, the back end doesn't have any more commissions. So conceivably you pay up front and your money grows. It's not a bad deal. It's a fair deal for a person running an investment firm, particularly for the long-term investor. So no hard feelings there. And on the bright side of it all, my fees had already been paid a long time ago when I bought into these American funds. So when I transferred over to Fidelity, it essentially didn't cost me much. I think that I got dinged with like $150 account closure fee. You know what? I don't even care. I really don't. I'm moving money to a place where more than likely, unless I really screw it up, I'll be growing things much faster by managing my own portfolio and paying closer attention to the ebbs and flows of the market and making moves at a much faster pace than I could have in a mutual fund setup where, buying and selling on a day or even a week basis. Man, it's pretty slow going over there. So I will be doing a follow-up video soon that shows you which instruments I decided to buy with the funds from the transfer. I'm also going to use this SEP IRA for a portion of 40 Finance going forward to kind of show you some of the retirement moves I'm making versus the stock trades that I make in my retail account. So that's going to be a lot of fun, and I hope you guys enjoyed this overview. As always, please give me a like and subscribe. I really appreciate the support. We'll see you on the next video.